So, as I mentioned, the compost bins needed turning over. So today that's what I'm doing. I have emptied one of them. You can see the other one is still to be emptied. That's the pile there of the contents which I'm going to keep but put back in with some leaves. I'm going to layer it with that and leaves, and then this stuff here is what's in the bottom of the compost bin, which has already been composted. In this section here, should see some worms, because I just made sure I had kept worms, but now of course I can't find them. But there were quite a few, and there's also quite a lot of slugs, as you can see at the back of the compost. Right, where are these worms? There's a lovely centipede. You might be able to see walking. There it is. Disappearing. I don't know if you caught that. And there is one of our... oh no, I've just moved him. Where's our friendly worms? Let me see. Can't find them. Another centipede rushing off. They're very quick, all these little characters, to get out of sight. But there definitely are worms in there, because I'm aware that I was aware of them when I dug them out, but of course now I can't find them. Right. Was that one there? Oh, I keep moving them. There you are. There's one. Okay. So they're what we want in there, plus all the other little invisible things, which are tiny. Okay, I'm going to get on with it, and I'll show you when I've finished. Okay, so this is now filled with layers, and of course I found that, which is always the case, that grass clippings, if they're left in the compost, if they're at the edge, they don't really compost. They still remain quite dry. So by mixing them in like this and putting them in the layers with the wet leaves, that has meant that they will compost down. That's what's left of the big pile. This is what's left in the second compost bin. A lot of that will be okay as compost, but some of it, again, I will just turn in and just give it a little bit of a mishmash around, and then it will continue composting. I find this compost bin on the right composts easier and quicker than the one on the left. I'm not sure whether it's just because of the location. Have to keep the lid closed all the time. You want to keep the moisture in, but not let too much moisture, too much rainwater coming into it, you know. So its temperature needs to be about right in there so it does its work. Okay, so I'm going to finish off now by putting the rest of this into there after I've taken out what I want from there. Oh, I was going to show you, I've put 2 bags of leaves in the compost in that big bin there, in layers, and this is some of the compost which I've just collected from the bottom of it, and I've put it in the bottom of in the veg patch, which I'll dig in. Right, so that's a job well done. Hot work actually on this sort of damp January day. There is the second compost bin. See, it's got now plenty of space, and if this one's full and shut. I was going to take some of the leaves out of the bottom of the pond and discovered that actually there's still ice under the surface of the water. You might be able to see it. So the temperature is actually quite high. I think it's about 6 degrees or something. So obviously this week it hasn't managed to thaw out that. It's amazing, isn't it? Put some of the leaves, the wet leaves from the bottom of the pond, in the second compost bin and just spread them around, add a little bit of moisture in there. Here is the compost that I've taken out of the compost bins. I'm not digging it in now. I'm tired. I tried to make sure that there wasn't any worms there that I could see, because I don't really want them eaten by birds. I'd rather they were in the compost doing their job. So this will be dug in at a later stage.